Good morning students and welcome back to your science lecture again. Today also we will see class 7 science chapter number 6 physical and chemical changes. So in our previous lecture we have learned physical and chemical changes through various experiments and various examples. Yes, do you remember that? And in our last lecture we have discussed about the physical change in very detail. So here today we will learn chemical change in detail. So what is meant by chemical change? So the definition of chemical change, how we can define the chemical change? So it is a change, such a type of change in which internal properties get changed. Internal properties get changed. So as the internal properties change here, it is considered as a permanent change. It is considered as permanent change. So here one or more new substances form during the chemical change. So after the chemical change is happened, there one or more than one new substances form there. Okay. So we have seen through that example of burning candle. We have discussed in our last lecture. Here physical change also is taking as well. Chemical change is also taking while the candle is burning. How? It is made up of hydrocarbon, and while the hydrocarbon burn, what happened? There is a release of carbon dioxide and heat energy. That two products we get while the candle is burning. So that in the chemical change, when the candle is burning, we get two new products here. So this type of change is chemical change that we have discussed. So in chemical change, new substances form always. So original texture of that substance, original properties of that substance get changed. Here one thing very important again, it is a irreversible change. It is a irreversible change. Means the substance what is undergoing chemical change, it cannot regain its original position. It cannot regain its original state. Okay. So where the chemical change happen with any substance, after chemical change the substance is unable to regain its original form, original state. So that is very important, and this property particularly is called irreversible change, irreversible process. So in physical process we have learned about the glass. When I have given one example of broken glasses, pieces of glasses, and again paper I tore here. So in that example we have seen that process is reversible process. Means we can again reform that paper from the after making the pulp. Yes, and glass also, after melting that pieces of glasses, we can again gain the glass bowl, yes, which is broken. So this process was reversible as it was physical process. But here the chemical change is irreversible change. That's why we can't get again that substance. So it is very important thing. So here we will discuss through various examples also. One example we have seen, that burning of candle. Again, similar to that, this is also another example of chemical reaction, that is burning of wood. Here as a byproduct, as a product, we got coal. We got coal, and with that formation of coal, again carbon dioxide was released there while it was burning, and heat energy also was releasing while it was burning. So how many substances we got? How many products we got? Coal, that coal, again carbon dioxide and heat energy, that three types of products we got here. So that it is a chemical reaction typically. Any hydrocarbon burns also we get that thing, that also we discuss here. Again, a very common example in our daily life I will give. Here we can see, I will show you. It is an example of milk. It is an example of milk, that is milk, liquid. It is a liquid milk. And when I will make a curd, I will make a curd. How we can make curd? By adding somehow curd only. If I will add in that milk, it will convert into curd. If I will add little bit of curd in that milk, warm milk, somehow only little heat we have to give that to that milk, and we have to add somehow prepared curd, and after setting, after some duration, we will get again the curd. So it is also made up of milk. Yes, that curd is also made up of milk, but still it is having totally different properties. Totally different properties than that of the milk, because the milk is having sweeter taste and the curd is having somehow sour taste. Yes. So why happen? Because of chemical change, the internal nature, internal properties of that milk are totally changed here. Internal properties of milk is totally changed here, and it get converted into curd. So the curd is having different type of property. So it is very typical example of chemical change. Yes, understood? So here we will see very important example, and we will discuss the typical example of chemical change, and it is given also in our textbook, NCERT textbook, that is rusting of iron. Rusting of iron. So anything when get corroded, so what happen? One layer is formed on the metal. If we will take one metal, see here I have taken one nail. Yes. So if we will take one nail, and if we will let it in atmosphere, what will happen? After some time, one layer, brown colored layer, form on that surface of that nail, any metal substance of iron. Yes, have you noticed that? If any iron substance we keep in atmosphere, what happen? A layer of brown colored powder is formed, is deposited on the surface of that iron substance, and that is nothing but rust. That is nothing but rust of the iron. It is also, we can also say it get corroded. When it get rusted, it get corroded. Why we are saying it is get corroded? Because the upper surface, the surface of that iron, upper surface of that iron get vanished due to that oxidation, due to that forming rust. Yes, if we will remove that rust, the layer is, when we remove that layer, the surface area of that iron is minimized, and slowly it will minimize, and slowly it will vanish after many years, after many time. We can see anywhere in buildings and gate and the tin shade which is made up of iron, what happened? After many years it get corroded, and somehow it get vanish also due to the process of rusting. Rusting is the process of corrosion. Rusting is the process of corrosion. And when the corrosion happen, the surface area get damaged, totally get damaged, so that it is harmful to our harmful to us and harmful to that ion also. So this type of brown layer is formed. You can see the brown layer. I will show. See, initially this paper is white in color, and if I will rub this on that nail, we will see what will happen. See here. Now brownish spot you can see here. Brownish spot you can see. Now you can see clearly. See this brownish spot, can you see here? Initially it was totally white paper, and after I rubbed that nail on it, what happened? That paper is turned into brown color. So what is that brown color substance? It is nothing but the rust of the iron nail, rust of that iron nail. I kept yesterday at outside in my balcony, and after some time I got the rust is formed on the layer of that nail. So we can see when any iron thing is kept in the atmosphere, what happens? Rust layer form on the surface layer. That is important. And what is that rust? What is that rust? Which substance is that? It is nothing but iron oxide. It is the layer of iron oxide formed due to chemical reaction of iron with oxygen. Yes, in atmosphere we know that oxygen is present, and when the iron is kept, when that iron nail is kept in the atmosphere, what happens? The iron surface is get reacted with the atmospheric oxygen, and after that the rust layer is formed on the surface of that iron nail. So it is nothing but the iron oxide. Yes, so what is that iron oxide? We will see here. So again we can see this type of reaction in case of copper also. Greenish layer form when we let it into the air. What happened? The green spot occur there on the copper vessel after some time. Why? Also it come in contact with atmospheric oxygen, and atmosphere, the water vapors are also present in the atmosphere, and so that chemical reaction happened there, and on the copper vessel greenish bluish dots or spots we can get. Yes, so here on iron oxide is formed, and that iron oxide is brown in color, so that we get the brown color layer. So how this form? Iron, what is the symbol of iron? That is ferrous. Yes, it is very convenient to use symbol instead of the name. Are you using in mathematics one minute? I will give an example, then you will understand better the chemical reaction. If I have to write 7 plus 2 equal to 7 plus 2 equal to 9. Is it correct manner to write, and is it convenient to write in this manner that equation, that mathematical equation? No, because it is very lengthy process. Yes, and we can't express anything in this form. So that we have given symbol to each number and each mathematical sign also. For plus, this sign we use, and for the number 7 we use this symbol. For 2 we use 2. Again for 9 we use 9. So these are the symbols for that word. For that word we use symbol for our conveniency. So this lengthy equation will become very short. 7 plus 2 is equal to 9. Yes, how short is that equation as compared to this? Very short, and it's very convenient also. Similarly, we can use the symbols as well in chemistry also. If we have to write down reaction of iron like that, iron plus oxygen, it will get reacted, plus, I will write plus, oxygen, what I will get as a product? As a product I will get here iron oxide. Yes, how much lengthy will become that reaction? It is short reaction, but we have to learn, we have to study very big reaction. So that we have to use symbol as like mathematical symbols. We have to use also symbols, so that it is very important to learn symbol for each element. In periodic table you can see around 115 elements are there. Among that some common elements we have to use very commonly for our study. So at least that symbols we should learn very well. It is very important, and without that symbol we can't write the chemical equation. We can't understand properly the chemical reaction. So that we should learn that chemical symbols. Yes, for that each elements. I will give you that list of elements and that symbols, and again with the valencies. I will explain in your next further classes what is meant by valency. Still you have to learn only that valency as a tables in mathematics. Yes, so I will give you that list also. So it means my intention is that it is very important to learn the symbols in chemistry as well as like mathematics. So this equation will become, if I will write in the form of symbol, iron ferrous plus oxygen O2. How short it is? Now it will become as a iron oxide. What is the formula of iron oxide or iron oxide? Fe2O3. Fe2O3. Yes. So this is the formula, chemical formula of iron oxide. Iron oxide, this is much lengthy word, we don't have to write. Instead of that lengthy word, we can write the chemical form, and it is correct as well. Fe2O3, that is the iron oxide. So this type of chemical reaction we will get when the iron get oxidized, when we keep any iron piece or any iron substance in the atmosphere. It will come in contact with oxygen and also with the atmospheric water, that is water vapor is present in atmosphere, we know that very well, and with that moisture and oxygen the iron will come in contact and the chemical reaction happen here. The chemical reaction happen here and we will get the product as a iron oxide, As the valency of iron is 3, for the oxygen we have to write the valency of that iron, and for ferrous the valency of oxygen we have to write down. Valency of oxygen is 2, I have written after ferrous or iron, and the valency of iron is 3, that I have written after the 3. So this is according to rule of the chemical formula that you will learn in your further standard. Still you have to remember, you have to learn this chemical formula and learn this chemical equation. So I will give you what is meant by, I will explain what is meant by the chemical equation. So it is iron, it is the symbolic form iron, it is the oxygen in symbolic form, and I added here chemical reaction happened with these both substances, so that addition is happened here, reaction is happened here, so that I have given here plus sign, and then the product is formed. Here the reactant side, reactant means the substances which are undergoing reaction, in chemical changes happening with this substance. So these are written in left side, and the product what will form after the chemical change, that we have to write at the right side. And the arrow indicate that the reaction is happening in this direction. Means from this reactant substance we get the product. And this arrow is indicate that also it is a irreversible reaction. Because only in one direction it is happening. Means only from ferrous or iron plus oxygen we will get the iron oxide. Not from iron oxide we can get again the iron. If the reaction is reversible, we can show in this manner. Yes, this is the sign of reversible reaction. Means at both sides the arrow is here. If the reaction is reversible, some reactions are reversible. In that case, we have to give the arrow in this manner. This is the reversible sign. This is the sign of reversible arrow. So here, as the reaction is happening in one direction, only the product is forming here. So that such arrow I have given here. So iron plus oxygen, we got iron oxide. So this is the chemical reaction. Very important. Note down in your notebook what I have written here and what I have told now. So we will see again 2-3 reactions we will see in this 7th chapter, in this chapter only, and you will understand better after that. We will see magnesium oxide. When magnesium burn in air, it will also get reacted with the oxygen in the air and magnesium oxide will form. That also we will see. Again the displacement reaction, the reaction of iron with copper sulfate, that also we will learn. Now your reaction part is started properly. So you should learn what is meant by chemical reaction, and you should learn the symbols for some elements at least in this standard. Okay? Some chemical formula also you have to learn. So this was about the reaction of iron with oxygen. That reaction was not balanced. Again, it is a different part. We have to balance that reaction also. We will see later. But here, main thing we learn, when the iron get rusted, their chemical reaction happened and chemical change happened, and we got iron oxide. That is iron plus oxide, Fe2O3. Okay. So that chemical formula also you have to learn, note down in your notebook. Whole reaction you have to note down in your notebook, and then you have to write down. But one very important thing, one very famous monument we are having in near Delhi, in Agra. Near Qutub Minar, there is one very famous monument. It is made up of iron. Iron pillar is named. Yes. So it is given in your textbook. Maybe yes, on the page of 67, you can see in your textbook the picture of that iron pillar is given. So what is that iron pillar? 1600 years ago. It is established here, and very wonder thing is there. It's amazing that thing. If it still it is made up of iron, it is not get rusted yet. Okay? Why? Why it is not get rusted? Why it is not get rusted? The answer is that it is not of pure iron. So for avoiding this formation of oxide, for avoiding the rusting of the iron, what we have to do? How we can prevent that iron from rusting? So you can see the tin shade, these are white in color. Actually iron is not white in color, silver color. It is like this color, grayish color, but the tin shade look like whitish silver in color. Silver color tin shade, have you seen everywhere? Yes, definitely. So how it is different color? How it is of different color? Because it is galvanized. It is galvanized by the zinc layer. By the zinc layer. So because of this zinc layer, the rusting process is not happen there. The rusting process is not happen there. So that we can prevent the iron from the rusting by galvanization, again by making alloy, by forming alloy from that iron. Yes, what is mean by alloy? If we will mix any different type of one particular type of metal in particular proportion, we again with the metal we can add also non-metals as well. So if we will add any metal or non-metal in the iron, then it will become alloy of that iron, and that alloy will not get rusted, and it will not get corroded. So that the prevention will be there from the rusting. So it is very important, formation of alloy, that process is very important. And here, in case of that iron pillar, it is examined by various scientists from various countries. The scientists came in our India and they examined, they studied on that iron pillar, and they found that our Indian history, our Indian culture was very much advanced before also. They knew about the alloy. That's why they established the iron pillar as a alloy of iron. It is made up of alloy of iron, and that's why it is not rusted yet. Okay? So it is very miraculous. So this was very important. The prevention of rusting is making the alloy. We can use alloy. We can galvanize by giving the layer on that iron. Yes, that are very important. So I hope you understood what is meant by chemical reaction. What is meant by chemical reaction. And again, we will learn in our next lecture about the magnesium oxide, formation of magnesium oxide. So this is very important process as well. So we have to burn magnesium in the air for that. So again I will write that reaction, iron plus oxygen, then we will get iron oxide, Fe2O3. So that I have to write here 2 for, as 2 are here for the balancing of reaction, but it is here oxygen are 3 and here 2. So that I will write here 3. So 6 atoms are formed here. 6 atoms are formed here. Yes. Then for balancing the 6 oxygen atom, we have to write down here 2. Yes. Now 6 oxygen here, but how many atoms are iron? How many atoms of iron here? 4 atoms of iron are present here. So that instead of 2, I will write here 4 for the balancing number of atoms. That is the rule, very important rule. The number of atoms at the left side, at the reactant side must be equal to number of atoms at the right side. Means at both sides the number of atoms should be equal in quantity. That is very important theory. Dalton, the great scientist Dalton, has given that theory, that derived that theory. Means and this is according to chemical law of combination. Yes. So that this is very important thing. The number of atoms should be equal, so that here 4 atoms of iron, here also 4 atoms of iron, These we can multiply. 2 multiply by 2, 4. Here 4. Then 3 multiply by 2, 6. Here also 3 multiply by 2, 6. In 6 atoms of oxygen here. 6 atoms of oxygen also at the right side. Now the chemical reaction is balanced, and this balanced reaction you have to note down. Okay. Before that I have written only reaction. Now it is the balanced chemical reaction. This is iron, this is oxygen, and this is the product iron oxide. So note down that, and again read that portion from your NCERT textbook for your better understanding. Word to word you have to learn, you have to read your textbook again and again. Then you will clear your concept. Okay? Thank you. Here one thing is remaining to discuss again, that in our last lecture we have discussed about the lemonade. Yes, I prepared lemonade there. Yes, and I asked one question. If that reaction, if that process is physical process or chemical process. So I have taken drinking water and I add in that sugar, salt and lemon juice, and I mixed it very well. So lemonade is formed. So which type of reaction is that? What do you think? Or what is your answer? I will explain that. It is not a chemical change. It is a physical change. Totally, it is a physical change. Because the properties of the sugar, salt and that lemon juice is not changed here. We can get the taste of sugar separately, we can get the taste of salt separately, we can get the taste of lemon separately while we drink that lemonade. Yes, 3 tastes we get separately, we can identify that taste, and that means the properties of the 3 ingredients are not changed here, so that this process is physical process, means chemical change is not happened here. Here physical changes happen. Okay. So this was the